History of Computers, Part 2. In 1945, two professors at the University of Pennsylvania, John Mauchly and J. Presper Eckert, design and build the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator, ENIAC. The machine is the first automatic, general-purpose electronic decimal digital computer, according to Edwin D. Riley's book, Milestones in Computer Science and Information Technology. 1946. Mauchly and Presper leave the University of Pennsylvania and receive funding from the Census Bureau to build the UNIVAC, the first commercial computer for business and government applications. 1947. William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain of Bell Laboratories invent the transistor. They discover how to make an electric switch with solid materials and without the need for a vacuum. 1949. A team at the University of Cambridge develops the Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator, the first practical stored program computer, according to O'Regan. EDSAC ran its first program in May 1949 when it calculated a table of squares and a list of prime numbers, O'Regan wrote. In November 1949, scientists with the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, now called CSIRO, build Australia's first digital computer, called the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research Automatic Computer. CSIRAC is the first digital computer in the world to play music, according to O'Regan. 1953. Grace Hopper develops the first computer language, which eventually becomes known as COBOL, which stands for Common Business-Oriented Language, according to the National Museum of American History. Hopper is later dubbed the First Lady of Software in her posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom citation. Thomas Johnson Watson Jr., son of IBM CEO Thomas Johnson Watson Sr., conceives the IBM 701 EDPM to help the United Nations keep tabs on Korea during the war. 1954. John Backus and his team of programmers at IBM publish a paper describing their newly created Fortran programming language, an acronym for Formula Translation, according to MIT. 1958. Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce unveil the integrated circuit, known as the computer chip. Kilby is later awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work. 1968. Douglas Engelbart reveals a prototype of the modern computer at the Fall Joint Computer Conference, San Francisco. His presentation, called A Research Center for Augmenting Human Intellect, includes a live demonstration of his computer, including a mouse and a graphical user interface, GUI, according to the Doug Engelbart Institute. This marks the development of the computer from a specialized machine for academics to a technology that is more accessible to the general public. 1969. Ken Thompson, Dennis Ritchie, and a group of other developers at Bell Labs produce Unix, an operating system that made large-scale networking of diverse computing systems and the Internet practical, according to Bell Labs. The team behind Unix continued to develop the operating system using the C programming language, which they also optimized. 1970. The newly formed Intel unveils the Intel 1103, the first dynamic access memory, DRAM chip. 1971. A team of IBM engineers led by Alan Shugart invents the floppy disk, enabling data to be shared among different computers. 1972. Ralph Baer, a German-American engineer, releases Magnavox Odyssey, the world's first home game console, in September 1972, according to the Computer Museum of America. Months later, entrepreneur Nolan Bushnell and engineer Al Alcorn with Atari release Pong, the world's first commercially successful video game. 1973. Robert Metcalf, a member of the research staff for Xerox, develops Ethernet for connecting multiple computers and other hardware. 1977. The Commodore Personal Electronic Transactor, PET, is released onto the home computer market, featuring an MOS technology 8-bit 6502 microprocessor, which controls the screen, keyboard, and cassette player. The PET is especially successful in the education market, according to O'Regan. 1975. The magazine cover of the January issue of Popular Electronics highlights the Altair 8080 as the world's first mini-computer kit to rival commercial models. After seeing the magazine issue, two computer geeks, Paul Allen and Bill Gates, offered to write software for the Altair using the new BASIC language. On April 4th, After the success of this first endeavor, the two childhood friends formed their own software company, Microsoft. 1976, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak co-found Apple Computer on April Fool's Day. They unveil Apple I, the first computer with a single circuit board and ROM, read-only memory, according to MIT.